It's me, Mario. I'm Luigi, number one.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the weekly recap. If you missed last week's Substack, don't worry. We got you covered. It looks like Wall Street got drunk, the internet called in sick, and Walmart, well, they're collecting shopping centers like they're Pokemon cards. And me and Luigi aren't just dressed up to be clowns for you. It's actually Halloween week, Luigi's favorite holiday. First up, the SBA actually did something good, and Luigi broke it down in our blog. Lou, why don't you tell everybody all about the MARC program?
Matt, the SBA has shown love to small business manufacturers. The MARC program is geared specifically for small manufacturers in the U.S. Could you believe it? Friendly to manufacturing in stateside. Check it out on our Credit Bank blog. We do a deep dive on how to get qualified, what it means for manufacturers, and how easy it is to qualify for the MARC. It's like trick-or-treating at Credit Bank.
Meanwhile, in the land of Gucci and, well, guilt, it looks like luxury retailers are struggling. Gen Z is turning out that they'd rather shop in thrift stores and buy our overpriced luxury items at a deep discount, even though they're secondhand.
Matt, something interesting is happening in the luxury space that it's difficult to ascertain. Not only are people selling their luxury on RealReal, when they're making that money, they're rebuying upgraded secondhand products. So it's like the luxury brands are competing with themselves because consumers are still buying secondhand.
I can't take you seriously like that. But anyway, no, there's a real answer to that. My theory is the COVID money's gone. Those long lines that you've seen outside of Louis Vuitton and Gucci, they're no longer there. And the only thing that remains are the worthless items they bought. So they're reselling them. So if you're sitting with a closet full of Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and name brand items, you might actually be your own hedge fund. Now, onto the other side of the river. And we're going to talk about China. And I'm not talking about luxury goods and handbags that are being knocked off. Let's talk about how China, its hamster wheel, well, it's on fire.
Matt, there's a theory called involution, economic involution. It's basically a race to the bottom. You keep slashing your prices because your only competitive advantage is low pricing. But when your only competitive advantage is low price, you bring no value to the market. Remember Woolworths years ago? Woolworth had the best 5 and dime store, but their only competitive advantage was being inexpensive. And if that's your only advantage, your business evolves. Game over. Not saying that it's game over for China, but it's headed in that direction.
Well, listen, here's the deal. The writing's on the wall. China needs to produce volume. Tariffs are going up. U.S. consumers are essentially not going to buy enough Chinese goods. And the Trump administration knows they're weak. So they're actually using their political power and China's detriment right now against them. It's kind of like Judah.
This could be huge.
Okay, speaking about world domination, Walmart is actually out. What?
Whoa.
Oh, you blew into the mic or something. Okay.
World domination.
Yeah. Speaking of world domination, Walmart is actually out there buying up old malls and shopping centers like they're playing a game of Monopoly.
Here's what I think is happening, Matt. For decades, Walmart was always the anchor tenant at these larger malls, if not the standalone tenant. But they're getting into the real estate game. But it's not for what you think. They're not looking for cap rates and cash flow. They're looking to control the experiential experience. I just defined the word with the word. They're trying to define the experience within the mall setting. More people are buying curbside retail. So the experience starts at the parking lot. And if you control the parking lot, you control the experience.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. But I think there's also another path here that most people aren't speaking about. And I think that's Walmart online, right? They're still trying to compete with Amazon. The more stores and more shopping centers they own, the more distribution centers that they have. So they can get products to your house just as fast as Amazon with their 2-day shipping.
What's next? 14-minute shipping?
7-minute abs. I'm going to create 6-minute abs. You know the movie?
No idea.
You don't know the movie? You never seen Something About Mary?
Yeah,
I have a brilliant business idea. You know 7-minute abs? I'm going to create 6-minute abs. You've never seen Something About Mary?
Was that like Buns of Steel? Remember those Buns of Steel video?
I can't believe you've never seen Something About Mary.
I did. I just don't remember that line.
Okay.
I did.
You've never seen that?
I did, but I just don't remember that line.
Now, talking about Bezos, it looks like Amazon's AWS cloud sprung a leak. We were affected. Everybody out there was affected. Lou, why don't you break it down?
Matt, businesses large or small were all affected by this. And it just goes to show supply chains are not just in physical products.
The show must go on, Lou. Finish it.
Supply chains affect the cloud. And Matt, the cloud isn't policed. Big companies are policing themselves. So how do we really know that they're putting in the protections and the redundancies to make certain that the cloud is working? And obviously, this is a hiccup we got to resolve.
Meanwhile, while corporate America is laying everybody off, new people, instead of going back into the workforce, they want to get into entrepreneurship, but the cheapest way possible. And they believe it's franchising. Business.com just put out the top franchises you can get into for under $1,000, but it's not all it's cracked up to be. So why don't you break down the real costs?
Matt, the problem with franchisees when they enter into these franchise agreements, they don't read the fine print. You've got franchise fees, you've got licensing fees, you've got supply orders that you've got to meet. You have certain quotas that you have to meet. So franchises are great for startups because they give you the systems and processes, they give you a strong brand, and it's a great way for an inexperienced operator to get started. Having said that, you got to do your due diligence. And you know what the best way to do your due diligence? Check out Greg Moore, the franchise maven. He was on episode 24, one of the OGs of the Liquid Lunch Project. We'll put the link in the notes. Take a look. You'll get some great takeaways on how to protect yourself from franchise agreements. Now for some quick hits from around the Halloween web.
First up, eat like a pilgrim, pay like a peasant. It seems like Walmart and Aldi are boxing meals together that you pay one price and you can feed up to 10 people. Aldi came out and said they have a 14-pound turkey, 9 sides, all for the price of $40, which is actually unbelievable. Because just today, I saw the Walmart CEO on CNBC bragging how his was 118. But anyway, did somebody forget to tell them about inflation, or did that just go away?
Matt, it took a German company to mass produce an American holiday. Go figure.
Now, speaking about American holidays, let's go to everybody's favorite holiday sport, football. Down in the Lone Star State, Texas Tech fans were actually almost thrown out of the game from this strange tradition.
They threw tortillas onto the field. Only in Texas, buddy. Only in Texas.
Now it's outlawed. It's against stadium law. I guess there's going to be no more tortilla throwing.
Matt, what happened to the good old days at Madison Square Garden where you could just pour a beer over someone's head and have fun with it?
I used to like throwing batteries at people.
On to the next news bit.
So it took Reddit to find out the world is actually addicted to almost everything. Caffeine, short-form videos, gambling, and maybe drugs and alcohol. Who knew?
Bring us home, partner. Bring us home.
What do you mean? You got to say something there.
There's nothing to say.
Just make a comment.
Matt, at this point, the only thing Americans aren't addicted to is moderation.
Ain't that the truth? Okay.
Bring us home, partner.
All right, guys. So that's your weekly recap. If you want to read more, hit the link up in the bio. Click it down below. Argue with us. Tell us more. Tell me what you actually think of this hat. See you next week.